All right, young pledges for the class of 2021 to Alpha Theta Brains, the Florida chapter. We are a brotherhood of men. You have subjected yourselves to public embarrassment as part of your indoctrination, and you have shown that you can hold down 263 surprise shots. Now, you maggot walkers, it is time for your final tests to be fully accepted into the fraternity of Alpha Theta Brains. Who's ready to eat some brains, bros? Yes, young pledge, you had a question?
Can we also eat the face? Welcome to Talk Murder to Me. My name is John. I'm sitting here with Jen and Nicole. We are on live chat. Miss Leah is talking to us. If you guys want to join in the conversation, talkmurder.com/join. Every Sunday we record these episodes live. So today we have a crazy ass story. I hope you guys enjoyed the Tuesday story. This story does happen in Florida, but Friday's episode will be the Miami cannibal story. I can tell you that for a fact. Okay, this one just is in Florida.
Okay, we're still not at the cannibal story. Okay.
Well, yeah, I mean, just because the story is in Florida doesn't mean
it's a zombie story.
A zombie story, exactly. Doesn't mean that.
Well, I mean, it could. And this is in Jupiter, Florida. This is where the season of American Horror Story takes place. Season 4 Freak Show takes place in Jupiter.
This is also where the Lobster Man is Grady Stiles. Oh!
Stiles?
Yeah, Grady Stiles.
I thought it was Smalls.
Well, you're wrong, Jen. Grady Stiles. Boom.
Oh.
I am better at murder than Jen.
Well, we all know that. Otherwise, I'd be sitting here narrating stories.
Look at this beautiful house. I mean, I know it's in Florida and there's zombies walking around, but
I do have to say, I like how some of the houses in Florida, especially the ones on like on the intercoastal canals, I like how a lot of the pools are kind of right next, like right outside of the house, and have that's like a Florida thing. Like a lot of pools are like right outside the house, and then you have the screened in pool, and then you have a backyard.
Yeah.
It is on Zillow. I don't think this is sold yet.
It says off market. So it's not for
it
sale.
has sold. Now let me ask you something. So there was a double homicide that happened here. However, it didn't happen technically inside the home. It happened in the garage. If you see the garage right there. So kind of describe this house for us right quick.
Way down in Kokomo, Aruba, Jamaica. Ooh, I wanna take you to Bermuda, Bahama. Come on, pretty mama.
Key Largo.
Is this Kokomo?
Kokomo Lane.
That's the song came from this?
No, it came from Kokomo, the country.
Oh, okay.
Or island or whatever.
The country.
It's not a real island.
It doesn't matter.
We are at 19010 Southeast Kokomo Lane, Jupiter, Florida. This is the murder house.
This house I'd be more likely to buy. I like the layout.
I was going to say, this is actually an even nicer house.
$741,000. And this is a murder house. Double homicide happened right here in the garage.
All right, let's see more pictures. Oh, okay.
This is a one-story abode. Nice layout.
Yes, very
I do
nice
like
layout.
layout.
It's very open.
I do like it.
People like that open stuff nowadays.
Yeah. Oh, I like that.
I don't know. The shower's kind of small.
Well, you gotta change out the glass there.
Very nice.
Very nice. I'll put some of these photos on talkmore.com. Good yard. Nice backyard.
No pool, though.
Probably some alligators back there.
There was a gator at the farm the other day.
Oh, God.
And the murder that we're talking about tonight actually happened in the garage. So I don't know if we can find any garage pictures, but it would help. Here we go. Let's see some of these things.
You know, I did like the bathroom in that house too, the master bath. I like so that they had the tub and shower.
Oh, this one says it's sold for $460,000, but it was listed at $700,000. So this is definitely
estimate, yeah.
This is definitely someone got murdered up in this bitch type of shit right here. You know. I mean, sold for $460,000. HOA fee $34. That's not bad.
No, that's not bad
It's
at all.
actually really good.
Hey, I mean, going forward, I may look at it.
You think about HOAs very differently now with your neighbor.
Yeah, my neighbor with the lime green fence.
All right. So tonight, that house right there that you just saw, 19010 Southeast Kokomo Lane, Jupiter, Florida, 33458, home of Michelle Karen, who was born on March 14th, 1963, and John Joseph Stevens, the husband, born on July 2nd, 1957. So an older couple there. Across the street is a Jeffrey Michael Fisher, who came to the aid and rescue of his neighbors. He was born in 1968. He was also injured but not killed. He was transported to St. Mary's Hospital. So tonight, before I break this down, because we're going to go into a lot of things with this case, but the gist of it, an assailant catches the wife, the woman that lives there, Karen, in the garage at night. This is in the evening time, and then the husband comes out. This assailant kills both husband and wife and severely maims the neighbor who came out after he heard the screaming. What you're hearing now is a 911 call from the neighbor that went to help. This is August 15th, 2016.
911, do you need fire, police, or medical?
Please, and medical.
Medical on the line. Wait, sir.
Don't open that. Don't open that.
Fire rescue, what's your address?
Young man beating up a woman across the street.
Okay, are they?
Okay, the 911 call. This is from the neighbor who was also very severely beaten. He was not killed, though. He calls 911 and says, young man beating the neighbor across the street.
Outside or in a house?
It's in a garage.
Okay, can you tell if he has any weapons?
I think he had a knife, but I'm not positive.
Are either of them injured? Can you tell from where you are?
Yes, there's a girl laying on the ground. He beat her up. I ran over there. I'm bleeding profusely here at the moment.
Okay.
I don't know what happened.
All right, and can you tell if she's conscious or is she unconscious?
Say again?
Can you tell if she's conscious?
No, it does not appear so, no.
Okay, and what kind of injuries do you have?
I've been stabbed in the back.
With a knife?
Yes, I believe so. It was tough to tell.
Okay, you couldn't tell how long it was or anything?
I needed an ambulance.
Yeah, we're sending them. We're sending them. And where is he? Is he
I think
in the area
in the garage, right across the street from my house.
All right.
Michelle Karen and John Joseph Stevens were brutally beaten by a man that just showed up randomly. When Officer Deputy Grace Spoff, and his name is spelled Zopf, arrived, he found this situation going on inside the garage that you saw there. Inside, the door was open, and laying on the ground was the woman. She was already dead, and the male was still getting beat to death.
Mm-hmm. Must have been quite the scene, especially if the attacker is still in the garage when the police get there, right? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's still there. So they caught him red-handed.
Have you ever thought about the origin of that phrase? How they probably found someone with blood on their hands?
Yeah, I was just thinking that too. Like that's one of the few times that we've used that expression. It's like perfect.
All right, let me see. This is from the police reports right here. And we're just going to read, because I want to really paint this scene before we just get into it, because this is fucking damn brutal as tits, man. This shit is motherfucking brutal as tits. 1 second. Statement by Deputy Grace Spoff. And Nicole, if you want to read this.
When I approached the residence, I saw a male wrapped around the upper torso like he was hugging him, the male victim, as if he was familiar with the gentleman. I ordered him off the gentleman. He did not comply. He told me to fucking shoot him repeatedly. I did not have the opportunity to shoot him. I was seeing this man biting the chest of another man and hearing the sound of, flesh being ripped.
Oh, no.
It was just awful. Deputy Grace Zopf stated that the suspect was yelling at the deputy, fucking kill me, shoot me now, I deserve to die.
Deputy Zopf was the first to show up. Really soon after, he calls for backup. Deputy Wayne Trocon shows up at the scene, and this is his narrative.
When I arrived on the scene, Grace had him at gunpoint. The guy was laying on the ground with the victim in like a bear hug and was chewing the left side of his face. With one hand, he put his left hand inside of his mouth, tried to pull his cheek off. Grace and he both deployed their taser to no avail. He wouldn't get off, so I started kicking and stomping on his head to get him off. The canine dog was deployed a bit and bit him twice.
All right, go ahead and read the next officer. So there was a lot of cops that showed up at this house, right?
This makes you just, every time, when you hear 911 calls like this, it feels like it takes not that it does, but like goes by so slow.
Yeah.
You just tell, you're like, where are they? Come on, guys. This is what makes us glad that we live right around the corner from the fire station.
Okay, this is the next deputy right here. And the thing that he says last, the quote that this killer says will definitely go down in history as the most fucking craziest shit anyone has ever said. So go ahead and read his statement. This is from Officer Valerio.
He reported that the defendant did not follow commands and did not respond to the taser or being bitten by the canine dog. He displayed signs of superhuman strength as he continued attacking. A deputy performed a heel strike on Harrouff's head, which had enough effect for Harrouff to stop attacking the male victim. A deputy was able to effectively place Harrouff's wrist into handcuffs and pull him off the victim. While Harrouff was being carried off in handcuffs and leg irons, he continued acting irrational, thrashing his body from side to side and yelling, help me, I ate bad things.
Now, Harrouff is the killer.
Right.
Okay.
Help me, I ate bad things. And if you want to continue reading.
Like a human? When deputy asked him what he ate, Harrouff replied, I ate humans.
Ooh.
I ate humans. Now, the thing about this case and the next one, because we're doing 2 zombie cases this week.
Oh, 2!
Both in Florida.
Ooh, Florida seems to have a zombie problem.
This is not the bath salt case.
Oh.
This is not the bath salt case. This is a case that no one has fucking ever heard of. But it's still a zombie case.
I surely have not.
Apparently zombies...
So there were no bath salts involved in the making of this zombie. Is that what you're saying?
He says, help me, I ate bad things. Well, what'd you eat? I ate humans. That seems like some Twilight Zone shit there, man. You remember that one where the aliens came down and they were all benevolent? And all the humans, they had a town meeting and they were like, these aliens are helping us out and they're really turning our civilization around. And the aliens had this book. You remember it? You don't remember that? And then, like, this guy, this scientist or doctor or whatever, finally translates the book and it's a fucking cookbook for humans.
Mr. Chambers, don't get on that ship. The rest of the book, To Serve Man, it's a cookbook.
No!
Twilight Zone was like way ahead of its time.
Yeah, no shit, dude.
Black Mirror of the 1960s.
Yeah, that was a great fucking episode. Tell me right now, he's 25 years old. What does this guy look like? Obviously, well, we actually have a video.
So again, there were no bath salts involved. Is that what you're saying?
I didn't say that. You just said that.
You did say that.
No, I asked you is that what you think? There's bath salts.
No,
you said there were no bath salts involved
thing.
in this story. You said the next one.
No,
this isn't the bath salt
I didn't mean it like that.
Okay, so there were bath salts making the zombie.
You need to make up your mind and tell us if there were bath salts or not, because I need to know.
All right, I'll tell you right now. I'll spoil it for you.
Well, you already said there were none.
Yeah, but bath salts are other drugs.
Oh, you didn't say that. You just said bath salts.
I'll go ahead and spoil it for you. There were no drugs found in his system. Florida, you're not even doing drugs and you're turning into zombies. What the fuck? Maybe it's like the air or
maybe there's something in the water.
Jesus Christ. Florida, I'm sorry, yo. You got a fucking problem, man. I don't mean to stereotype, but I sure as fuck ain't.
Yes, you do. Florida.
I sure as fuck ain't moving down to Florida.
I wonder if our friend from West Virginia, who was like, we're not all like that, is joining in on our Florida.
Yeah, that's right.
Now.
Like,
yeah, man, fucking Florida. Zombies, fucking asshole zombies. Anyway, there's actually CCTV video of this happening.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is it available?
Yeah, well, let's watch it right now.
Oh, stop.
Oh, my gosh.
You're such an a-hole.
This is Resident Evil 1. Jesus Christ.
It's exactly the scene that was just described, actually. So, yeah.
I mean, it is, dude. That's exactly what it was. And the next story we're going to do on Friday, all right, you'll see the video because there is actual video, not just that Resident Evil thing. There's actual video
of the Friday
of
story.
The famous story, the one that everyone knows, the bath salt killer.
Okay.
Everyone knows that story. There is CCTV footage of that, 100%. And you'll see all these comments about, because you'll see people. The whole scenario lasted like 45 minutes. But there's people riding their bikes by, people stopping and taking pictures, like walking by, and everyone's like, why is no one stopping and helping them? You have a guy eating someone's fucking face off. I'm sorry, dude. I ain't fucking stopping either. Because, like, what the fuck? You gonna stop and try to
excuse me, sir,
save a guy from a fucking zombie? He is eating his face and spitting out the flesh. You better get the fuck away. You know what I'm saying? Don't be fucking stopping.
But also, perhaps don't film. Like, this may not be the opportunity to stop and take photos.
I mean, it's just fucking crazy.
Anyway.
But it's just like all these YouTubers are like, why is no one stopping? That's pathetic. Well, fucking you stopped then, motherfucker. I sure as fuck.
Yeah, if you see someone with superhuman strength, you're... I don't know, man. Put on your cape and see what happens.
Fucking chewing someone's face off and spitting it out, and he's butt naked, the killer, you're not gonna fucking stop either, bud. Yeah. I'm sorry.
No.
Anyway, welcome to Florida. We're not all zombies. All right. Okay, so tell me about this guy right quick. I mean, obviously, he's a tweaker.
He said there were no drugs found in his system.
Well, I didn't want to say that. You made me say that. Try to describe this guy for us. Tell me what you think. Like, just what does he look like?
We don't see anything.
I know, but try to tell me what you would think he would look like.
There's no picture for us.
Well, the caller said he was a white male. So it makes me feel like that the most recent episode of the most recent season of American Horror Story, where the evil creatures are kind of like all like bald and like super pale and like move like this,
like Gollum,
kind of.
I will
kind of like Thriller, but white and pale and no hair, and like a cross between Voldemort and
what you're describing
Thriller.
makes me think of like Gollum from Lord of the Rings.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's exactly what this guy looks like. I'll link to
that's exactly what this guy looks like.
I'll link to this guy's YouTube channel. He created this channel 2 weeks before and we're going to get into in graphic detail the whole flesh eating shit. Every bite of flesh we're going to get into. So this is the guy's YouTube channel he made 2 weeks before he ate the faces off of these random fucking people. His name is Austin Harrouff, Harrouff. He is also known as the Frat Boy Cannibal.
What?
This is him right here.
Okay, not what we described.
Not at all.
What's up, guys? I just want to let you know that I came to a realization of something. I no longer want to follow Arnold or any other bodybuilder. I want to follow myself, you know? I want to actually believe in myself. Not in... I want to learn from other things, other people.
This is weeks before.
Other bodybuilders.
2016. This murder happened August 15th.
Well, this is 4 days.
This is 4 days before. 4 days before. All right, real quick, I want to look at the comments. Gotta eat, right? Lots of white meat. Now, this guy is a bodybuilder. He is huge. He's a big dude.
He doesn't look that big.
I mean, he's muscular. I mean, he's fucking, you can tell he trains all the time.
Look forward to the next video, bro.
Some of the comments, how many grams of protein are in a human face?
Oh
Jesus Christ.
Oh my gosh.
Let me see. A lot of these girls, Belladonna says, damn, he was cute. Why you gotta be eating faces though?
Oh my goodness.
Christ. Oh shit.
It's not healthy. It's not natural. Neither is a human face.
But this is him, man. This is the cannibal frat boy killer. Can you imagine, dude?
So is this where some of those titles that we were going to use for the Tasmania will come to play?
No, I've never heard of this before this.
No, I was saying the titles that we were tossing around for some other cannibal stories. This is the opportunity to bring them back.
So, I mean, look at this guy's channel, man. So the channel name is A.Frost. He goes by Austin Frosty. And, I mean, he teaches people how to do bodybuilding. Now, this is weeks before. Notice that he starts talking in different accents, which is extremely weird. He's doing like a British accent.
It's gotta suck. You gotta suck in, mate.
Yeah.
Like,
He's fucking from Florida, you know, and no one really questions, like, what is going on here?
Hello.
Isn't that weird?
Hi,
Yeah.
guys.
It's so weird, man. And this is days before. The title of this is...
I just wanted to say that I think the best exercise for your chest muscles.
This video is entitled The Best Chest Exercise.
The bench press. Yeah.
Fucking nuts, man.
I think that
nuts.
probably
Crazy
is
shit.
the best exercise for your chest.
Yeah, no shit. Someone says a movie needs to be made about him. Has anyone ever heard of this shit? Nobody has heard of this story. And it's fucking crazy. It's crazy. So that's the guy, Frat Boy Cannibal. That's who we're talking about tonight. Officer Deputy Grace Soft arrived to the home. He noticed that the suspect was, quote, choking and biting a male, later identified as John Joseph Stevens. Deputy Soft stated that the suspect was biting the victim, John Stevens, and spitting out his flesh. Now, we're going to cover this zombie story and a zombie story that also happened a few miles from here, closer to downtown, the one that everyone knows, the bath salt story. But in both stories is very important. The autopsies that were done, well, the last guy died. This guy didn't die. The autopsy that was done, there was no human flesh in the stomach. So they're not eating the flesh. They're just ripping it off like a fucking dog and spitting it out. So in the garage, there is pieces of human flesh littering the garage.
Oh, no.
Everywhere, littering the garage, because he's not actually eating it. He's spitting it out.
Okay.
It's fucking weird.
That is an important detail.
Yeah, but it also doesn't make it better.
For the bath salts episode that we're going to cover next, most people think he's on bath salts. We don't know. Maybe. Okay. This is a different story because apparently this is not a drug story. This is a mental illness story, which is fucking nuts, man. There was the 2 weeks leading up to this guy eating someone's face, the YouTube videos and everything. There was a marked change that his friends, his family, his girlfriend, everyone noticed. He became a completely different person within the 2 weeks leading up to this. Completely different. So if it was drugs, Like, I was thinking, if it was drugs, is there a drug that you can take and then it affects you over weeks? Because there was no drugs found in his system.
No prescription drugs?
No prescription drugs or anything found in his system. So most people think that this specifically is mental illness, which is crazy. All right, continuing with the deputy's report. The deputy stated that the suspect was wearing a blue shirt and silky boxers. The deputy then ordered the suspect off the victim. So as soon as he gets there, and this happens in both cases, the suspect, the killer, is ordered off. The deputy ordered the suspect off. In both cases we're going to cover, they ordered the suspect off. They didn't respond in human language. They responded in growls. This is very primal. This is very animalistic behavior.
Yes.
Okay, if you go back to the whole purpose of being a species is survival and replication, the only two things that matter, this is like bare minimum, eating something to survive type of shit. This is fucking...
But he's not eating it.
This is like archaic shit, right?
Yes.
When we were, growing up in evolution, all that shit. It's crazy.
Growing up.
Anyway, the deputy ordered the suspect off. And he pointed a gun at the suspect, but he continued to bite and rip the flesh from the victim. Okay.
And he didn't know the victim.
No, this is random. He's not even on the same street.
Like, was the garage open?
Yeah, the garage was open. So it was fucking real random. Just all of a sudden. That's why you got to shut your garages. There's 2 lessons to be learned here. Number 1, keep your garages shut. Number 2, don't live in Florida.
Well, we already learned the garage lesson from Barbara.
Yes,
so.
correct.
The officer used a taser, tried to handcuff him. He has a taser. Like, there's a video that History Channel did, or one of those channels, where this dude, he is huge. I mean, he is 350 pounds, all muscle. They wanted to see if he can withstand a taser. He was like the most strongest human out there. Couldn't do it. Couldn't withstand a taser. No one can. It locks your whole body. All your nerves just lock up. You can't do anything. You fall on the ground. This guy and other guys that are on some sort of crazy drugs, like not meth per se, but all this bath salts, just like this. They're too strong. The tasers don't even affect them. So he tries to handcuff him, which was dumb. I would just shoot the guy right in the fucking head. He was being overpowered and he was about to be a next victim. Luckily for him, and I want to say this deputy was a female. Grace Zoff, that's a female. Luckily for her, because she was about to get eaten too. Deputy Wayne Trocan arrived just in time, tried to rip the guy off, but, quote, the suspect kept biting the victim. You got 2 cops trying to pull this kid, this 25-year-old kid, off of this victim, biting his face. 2 cops, and he just would not stop biting the face. And it's the face. It's like just the ripping the flesh off. The taser's not working. Fucking 2 officers. Quote, at this point in time, Deputy Wayne Trocan arrived and attempted to control the suspect, but the suspect kept biting the victim. Tequesta K9 showed up. Okay. A K9 officer shows up. Deployed his dog. So I guess, and I was learning about this, when a K9 officer shows up and there's other officers on the suspect, the K9 officer will announce as loud as he can, I am going to deploy my dog. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? That way the suspect and the other officers know that the dog is coming out. It's like a fucking weapon.
Yeah. Well,
it's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
So he says, I'm going to deploy my dog. And then he just let it go. The dog latches on the zombie's arm. Didn't affect him whatsoever. You have 2 cops trying to pull him off, a taser that's tasing his ass, and a fucking dog trying to rip off his left arm. And this kid is still trying to rip off the flesh of the male victim.
Wow.
Still, like nothing else matters, man. Just trying to get the fucking flesh. Fuck. Dude, that is wild. I'm sorry, man. That is fucking wild.
I'm like,
dude.
I've got the scene in my head, like, of what, it's so vivid of like what the hell is going on in this person's garage.
No shit. That's what I'm trying to do. This is, I mean, let's take another look at the fucking kid. I mean, this is a 25-year-old kid. Look at him. You know, this is him after he was arrested. You know, look at him. He doesn't look like a fucking cannibal killer, does he? This is his, this is him after. That's the arrest right there when he's on the ground. Crazy. Nuts. I'll put all these photos on talkmore.com. Nuts. This is all happening. I mean, talk about the stress level of this shit. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
The dog is, at this point, trying to rip his arm off, trying to get him to stop. The dog is probably like, what the fuck? Usually they stop. The dog is latched on to his arm and biting it, like all the way through to the fucking bone, like the dog is supposed to do. 3 officers finally get him in handcuffs. And he's still trying to just bite the face like nothing else matters. He keeps yelling, quote, fucking kill me, shoot me now, I deserve to die, end quote. Fucking crazy, man. Crazy shit. Deputy Trocan attempted to remove the suspect by using his taser, but the suspect would not let go of the victim. Deputy Trocan began kicking the suspect in the head. Kicking him in the head, in the face. He's like chewing down on the face of the victim, and he's like kicking his head. Get the fuck off his face. Still didn't do anything. Began kicking the suspect in the head, which temporarily caused the suspect to let go of the victim. But then the suspect grabbed the victim again and began to chew the victim's face. Holy shit. I mean, what the fuck? Holy
relentless.
Jesus fuck, man.
So
Jesus fuck.
Did this guy know these people? Like,
no, I just said he's completely.
But how did he stumble across this house?
I'll get to that. Let's talk about Jeffrey Fisher. Jeffrey Fisher hears his neighbors screaming. This is 21:15, which is what, Nicole? 21:15 hours. 21:15.
9:15.
9:15. Good job, Nicole. He's actually going to bed. He hears his neighbors scream. Now, do you remember in the 911 call? He says
he's been stabbed.
Well, but the 911 operator says, "Do you know who the victim is?" I don't know. I'm now. This is neighbor. I think it's my neighbor's daughter.
Does the female look familiar to you?
I believe it was the daughter of the house that lives over there. I'm not positive.
Okay. You couldn't tell because there was no face.
Ugh.
That's how bad it was. You know what your neighbor's face looks like, right? Okay. But if the face isn't there anymore, you might as well just think it's the daughter or somebody, you know? Fucking nuts. Anyway, he hears the woman scream. He goes to the front door across from his home in the garage. That's where it was happening. Jeffrey was able to go through the sliding glass doors into the yard and then back to his home where he noticed he was stabbed multiple times. So this guy, Austin, picked up a knife that he found in the garage and started stabbing him. Crazy. Wow. Jeffrey ran into the garage. The cannibal, the frat boy zombie says, quote, "You don't want to. You don't want this. You don't want any part of this," end quote. And then immediately struck Jeffrey and he fell on the ground. So, fucking crazy. What do you guys think of this shit?
I don't know. This blows my mind.
Yeah.
If you want to read this, he was taken to St. Mary's Hospital. This is Austin, the frat boy cannibal. And if you want to read this stuff right here, this from the police report.
He was brought in howling, making animal-like sounds, writhing in contortions, and was not able to provide any form of history. He was handcuffed and had to be sedated in the emergency room. He sustained lacerations to both hands and reportedly also nearly severed off his right thumb.
Okay, the actual injuries is telling. Okay, immediately they treat him as a drug case. Okay, this is bath salts, another zombie, whatever. But when he gets there, they start to change their thinking a little bit. This is crazy. The medical treatment he sustained lasted months. He had to have an airway inserted. This is the Cannibal Frat Boy. An airway inserted because he couldn't breathe. He had to have blood transfusions. He had to have his liver and kidneys started to fail. Okay, so this is when I'm thinking, all right, if it's not drugs, most people don't think it's drugs. Is it some sort of bacteria or something? Because his fucking liver and kidneys both started to fail. He had to get a feeding tube put into his stomach. And because his colon became really infected.
Wow.
No drug. Wait, why is his colon infected? Is this some kind of sickness? Why would his colon, yeah, that's what I was thinking. Some sort of fucking biological fucking bullshit. His colon was completely infected. And this is all severe. Like this. They had to perform multiple surgeries. They had to do blood transfusions to keep him alive. He had blood clots in his brain.
Ooh.
You saw a picture of him. He wasn't roughed up too bad. Blood clots in his brain. He needed speech therapy. He forgot how to fucking talk. He couldn't talk anymore. They had to teach him how to fucking talk. And he couldn't remember anything that happened. That's when I'm like, man, I don't know. You know, at first I thought this was a drug thing. I don't know, man. This is something else, dude. I don't think this is some drugs.
Yeah.
This is something else. Now, I'm just going to read this quote again. "Help me, I ate something bad," to which Sergeant Dykes inquired, "Well, what did you eat?" And then the suspect responded, "Humans." Jesus, fuck. You guys like this or not? It's fucking crazy, man. This is crazy shit right here. This is a really good document right here. This is the psychiatry report. I just kind of want to go through it because it outlines everything. The 2 weeks before, all right, let's just say right now it's not drugs. There was, on the YouTube channel that he was doing, he was talking about smoking weed and doing mushrooms. That was like his thing or whatever. But in those 2 weeks, he's given everything up. Everything. And there was no drugs found in his system. He's given everything up.
Is that the problem?
No, but the problem is people think it was drugs. Okay, because if it's here's the thing: if it's a mental illness, you can't hold this guy responsible.
Right.
I mean, that's just how our law's set up, and I think that's a good thing, dude. And this is what I keep thinking about when I think of a story like this. Okay. I take this computer I'm looking at right now. There are people in this world, not me because I'm not smart enough, but computer engineers, whatever, can tell me exactly how everything works in this computer, from the diodes to the ones and zeros to information theory. Every fucking thing about this computer, somebody out there can explain in exact detail how it exactly works. You take the brain. You take a neuroscientist, the smartest, the best, the brightest. Not one person on this planet can fucking tell you exactly how the brain works. Okay? So you got to think about that too in this story. You know what I'm saying? Like with mental illness and stuff, in my personal opinion, I think it is a lot to do with because it's still evolving. We have this organ that is still evolving, and, you know, evolution doesn't get it right all the fucking time. And never gets it right. I mean, obviously, it gets better and better. That's what evolution is. But in the meantime, you're just stuck with whatever you're fucking getting. You know what I'm saying? No one. I'm just. That's when I was thinking of this story. That's kind of what I was trying to remember. You know, it's like, you know, how are you gonna explain this shit? Anyway.
Well, I'm curious what the cause of his medical issues while he was in the hospital was.
So, the 2 weeks before, he was an average kid. And this is when things started getting really weird. And if you guys really want to go into this, I'll link this document on talkmore.com. It's only 38 pages, but it goes into the 2 weeks before. And it seems like he was becoming schizophrenic. And actually, why don't we start with his computer search history for the 2 weeks before? That'll give us a good basis of where to go. Because this will tell you what he was thinking. I can promise you he didn't set out to do this. So you can't legally hold him responsible. You can hold him responsible if he took a drug. But we're not thinking he took any drugs. That's the thing, you know?
What about like manslaughter?
Still, you can't hold someone responsible if they had no control over their body. If it's a mental illness, all you could do is put them in a care unit. You know, how are you going to hold someone guilty? I mean, your brain could. That's what I'm saying. Like your brain could fucking act up right now and eat Nicole. They gonna throw you in prison?
I would hope not.
I
hope I wouldn't eat Nicole, but
this is 2 weeks. This is 2 weeks before the murder on his computer every day. 5 surefire ways to overcome fear and anxiety today. This is all Google searches. Beat the anxiety trick. How to overcome chronic anxiety. So obviously he's got anxiety. He's searching for that shit on his computer. How to spot a guy on steroids. Now this is crazy. The same day, right after he types in how to spot a guy on steroids, he types in what does it mean when people sell their soul to the devil? And then he types in how to sell your soul to the devil. And then
there's a guidebook.
You go on down to the crossroads and you would take your guitar with you.
Yeah.
Then he says, this is crazy. This is a week before. He says, what, quote, am I crazy, end quote, really means. How to know if you're going crazy. Tree of knowledge, good and evil. 10 ways to develop incredible charisma and still be yourself. This next one, read this next one.
Am I going crazy? Depression, generalized anxiety, panic, and bipolar disorder. I think I'm going crazy. Am I?
The very next search, he types in schizophrenia. Auditory hallucinations when falling asleep.
So he's hearing voices.
He's not only hearing voices, I'm going to get into it. He's seeing demons.
Ooh.
And guy, I mean, if he planned this whole thing out or whatever, he took a drug or whatever, he is typing in weeks before that he is having auditory hallucinations when falling asleep. Okay? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Something's fucking wrong, man. You know what I'm saying? He types in, think you're going crazy, a beginner's guide to psychosis. How can I become more intellectual and have more intellectual conversations? How to switch off an angry person. Difference between mania and peacefulness. I'll also link to his journal on here. This is very telling. He talks about, well, let me talk a little bit about his family right quick. You guys got anything you want to add or anything?
Not yet.
Mm-mm.
Besides the father's depression, which I don't even think that's bad. I mean, I know it's bad, but I mean, it's a successful family. There's one video on his YouTube channel of them boating and fishing, and it looks like him and his uncle and his dad are having a great time out there catching bass or whatever.
Must be nice.
The father, Wade, 61, he describes him as different, kind of loud, and a redneck. Nice guy, has a temper sometimes. Now, his mom and dad did get divorced, so the stepmother is Carrie Knowles. His real mother, 51 years old, Mina, she's really nice, somewhat permissive. In fact, she actually calls 911 before this happened, which is another thing. She calls 911 because he just vanishes. You know, Actually, let me show you the video of him walking out of the restaurant right quick. So they're at a family restaurant. I can't remember which one, but they're at a family restaurant. This is right before the murder happened. This is the surveillance video showing him walking out. Yeah, and I'll get to this, but he was an FSU student. Smart kid, really smart kid, you know? This is him walking out of the restaurant. That's him right there. And he just walks off from his family, leaving his family at the table and just walks off just like a zombie. I mean, I guess I could use that word, right?
Yeah.
That's exactly what he kind of looks like.
Yeah, he did. You could kind of tell. I mean, I know it wasn't like super, super clear, but you can kind of tell he had some type of a gaunt look on his face when he was walking out.
Yeah.
He was raised religious in both this case and the next case. Very religious. So, rule number 3.
He believes in the devil, right? I mean, from his searches.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to get into his religion because it's kind of crazy. You know, I mean, all right, the next story in particular, I didn't see it on this story, but a lot of people blame it on voodoo. And he was really religious. The bath salts guy. This guy is also religious, but he doesn't know where he wants to be in life. He's fucking 25, right? Mm-hmm. He's like, what is God? What is Krishna? He's looking up all this stuff and trying to figure it out for himself. He was raised Presbyterian, but he became an atheist at 18. He researched other religions, and he thought to himself, and this in his journal, that religious figures were related to his mental illness. And this is really interesting. I know I'm going off tangent again, but there is a study out there that this, I don't know, some kind of neuroscientist put together. It tries to explain, you know how you have prophets. I'm not trying to talk bad about any religion, but this is a theory. So you got Muhammad, Jesus, who's the Buddha guy? What's that guy's name? Is his name Buddha? Siddhartha, yeah, Siddhartha, whatever. All these people hear voices, right? Jesus heard God's voice. You know, Muhammad hears Allah's voice. They hear, they're being talked to by God. Mm-hmm. Okay, anyway, this paper that I read is kind of fascinating. It says when you have schizophrenia, and if you think of your brain, it's parted into two. And they've done studies with split brain patients where if I can't remember what it's called, the cerebrum cortex or whatever, that links both left and right, if that is split, then you literally have two different people with two different personalities that don't, if you cover like one of them's eye, like the left eye, and then have them do something with the right hand, it is two different people. They do not know what each side is doing.
Two different brains.
It is two different brains and two different people.
Wow.
The study that I read goes into saying, okay, what if these prophets were really suffering from some kind of schizophrenia where their brain was split like that? And when they're hearing God, they are really hearing something, but it's their other personality, which they take as God. Because if they don't, they'll just know they're fucking crazy or something, and it'd drive them crazy. So they have to say, this must be God. I must be chosen. Because I am literally getting talked to in my head all day long. Isn't that fucking crazy?
It makes sense. That's going to make a lot of people who are religious very upset. I mean, I'm not that you didn't say that. You're just regurgitating an article.
Yeah, dude, I grew up Southern Baptist, man. Fuck. I mean, I got an open mind, though. I mean, I'm not saying that's true or not. Religious, you can't prove to me God exists. A scientist can't prove to me God doesn't exist. We just don't fucking know. Mm-hmm. I mean, might as well, you know, if God is real, you might as well get baptized and shit like that. Then when you get to heaven, you be like, damn, I'm glad I did that. Shit.
Just in case.
Anyway, he was, sorry, I didn't mean to get on a tangent there. He was an average student. I mean, decent student. He got into FSU, Tallahassee, biology major. He joined Alpha Delta Phi That's why he's the frat boy cannibal. He started failing out. He moved to tech school. I don't think that has anything to do with this story per se, just because he failed out of school. I mean, shit, I couldn't even get into a real fucking college. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think that has anything to do specifically with the story. It's just some of his background. But when someone searches or tells someone, quote, I don't think I'm going crazy, end quote, that's when you may want to worry. When someone's typing in, I don't think I'm going crazy, or says that to you, you need to fucking take notice, man. It talks about his background, born December 21st, 1996 in Palm Beach Gardens, Florida. One sister, Haley. His parents divorced when he was 13 years old. His dad is a dentist, and even his father noticed within the 2 weeks before that, because his son was working at the dental practice with him. Mm-hmm. And this guy, his son, started being really outgoing, and he's usually been very introverted. And he started talking to patients more, and even to the point of inappropriateness, saying things, sexual things, like basically everything I say, but he's doing it in a professional environment. So even the father knew something was going on. As far as drugs go, he tries basic stuff in college, marijuana, alcohol, Adderall, but it's nothing that was found in his system at the time of the murder. Okay. Mm-hmm. He's been having episodes of sleep paralysis before this murder happened. He has never had any mental health treatment for counseling up to this point. Sometimes he could not move or walk in a waking state. On one occasion, he felt like he was abducted by aliens, which at this point, dude, you might have fucking been. I mean, I am not fucking putting anything past anything. You know what I'm saying? It could be demons, aliens, drugs. Who the fuck knows? No one knows. Okay, now this is really important. He started to think of himself as some sort of prophet, a supernatural prophet. And I'm not making fun of this, because this is really what he went through. Let's see.
I mean, it sounds like he wasn't a bad person. He just had like a.
It's interesting though that like something. So there were a lot of things that were, pertinent for years with him. Like he was, had depressive disorder for a number of years since he was a teenager. But like, what was it in the last 2 weeks? Was there a medical event, and that was part of what had him in the hospital with all these things?
That's a good question. This is the 2 weeks before. So the 2 weeks before, he was visiting his girlfriend, and she noticed that he was starting to research philosophy, religion, and the Illuminati. And this is funny. He was preoccupied with philosophical and religious leaders, including Tony Robbins. Like, that motherfucker is a religious leader. Mm-hmm. I guess people think of him like that. Lincoln and Krishna. He became interested in yin and yang. So just a whole smattering of things. He believed that he could, if you want to read this.
Mr. Harrouff believed that he could manipulate the water while sterilizing dental instruments at work. What? He believed that the water served as a source of power for him. The water would sculpt to my hands. The water gave him added energy, which would go inside him. He believed that he could bless the water, which would cause it to be sterilized. He concluded he was special and that no one else could direct the water the way that he could.
Certain sound like a little guy we know, doesn't it? I mean, all right, then this next paragraph says, Mr. Harrouff developed a belief that he would be the next great civil rights leader. He fasted like Gandhi. He changed his phone screensaver to a picture of Gandhi. He wanted to, quote, unite everyone. He believed that he had special charisma. He indicated that he could talk to anyone without caring what they thought of him. On Friday, August 12th, is 2 days before the murder, he thought he had superpowers. He felt like, quote, I was Jesus. I mean, we all feel like that all the time, right?
It's funny. Whenever we sit down on Sundays to record, The random shit you say before we go to sleep at night suddenly makes sense.
Yeah, I told her, I mean, what was it?
Well, it also makes sense. Like, we read something about creepypasta and you're like, hey, what if we did this thing about creepypasta? And I was like, okay, like, I just don't, you've read things. And I'm like, where is this coming from?
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then you made some comment about a prophet, and I was like, where the fuck are you getting this from? And they come from stories.
To feel concerned about your mental health, but actually you're getting it from your resources.
Yeah.
Your research.
I mean, God has always talked through me.
Right. Okay.
You know, and
okay, let's not go there.
I mean, I am the second coming of Jesus.
Let's not go there. Oh my God. Let's keep going.
He felt a responsibility as a Jesus-like person to try to solve problems of other people. He walked in a slow, harmonious manner. He actually started wearing light clothing. If you look at his YouTube video, he's only wearing white because he believed the dark was evil.
He was seeing dark shadows at night when he was in bed. He developed an insight into good and evil. He believed that evil forces were coming after him. He felt evil forces in his home. He felt the devil was out to get him and his sister. He believed that all people in his mother's home were at risk of being killed. He moved his mattress from his new bedroom to his old bedroom so he could be closer to everyone.
Oh, yeah, Jen.
His dog's name was Hubble.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
This is crazy. On Saturday, August 13th, 2006, he became more preoccupied with his horoscope and focused on the fact that as a Sagittarius, he was half horse, half man, a centaur.
He shares my birthday.
He was looking this up. He actually thought he was a centaur. In fact, he actually ran out into traffic in front of a car and would jump on the car and think he was a horse. He had horse legs.
He shares my birthday.
Yeah, it's fucking really sad, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's really fucking sad, man. He thinks people are the devil. He actually feared an evil spirit would kill him. Shit, I think an evil spirit had gotten into him or something. I mean, Jesus Christ, man. He started wearing his grandmother's stone. This is a day before the murder. For protection.
His stone cross.
His stone cross for protection. Okay? For fucking protection from what?
The devil.
I know, right? Isn't that crazy? He at a gun show with his father, he purchased snake jerky because he believed that he was destroying evil by eating the snake jerky.
Ew, I wonder how
he based this on a Bible story in which a snake deceived Eve in the Garden of Eden. I mean, dude, this is some crazy fucking shit. And he's searching all this stuff in his fucking computer and typing in his journal. I'm not crazy. I don't think I'm crazy. Do you think I'm crazy, journal? Why are you not talking back to me, journal? I mean, holy tits, man. You know, he believed he was half dog, half man, and sometimes half horse, half man. He thought he had heightened intuition that he described as a sixth sense, and he could tell whether people are good or evil.
Could he tell if people were dead or alive?
No, but I think he saw, well, actually, he does say this, that he saw the lady in the garage, the one he killed, Karen, as a demon. You know, he saw her as some kind of demon. I mean, he believes he's invincible. Cars went around him. He would walk in the middle of the street. He believed he was invincible. I ran super fast. I mean, look at this. Is just, you can't even write this shit. Stephen King couldn't even come up with this shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Just crazy, man. It's just crazy. He was feeling godlike. He had a special relationship to God. He believed his anatomy was changing and he was getting bigger and more muscular, and he was in charge of his own destiny. He felt that he knew all the religions and God was speaking to him. It's just getting progressively more fucking chaotic, and his family seeing it. His mom calls 911 before this even happens because she's so fucking worried about this, you know? I mean, what do you guys think?
I mean, there's definitely like a downward spiral.
Yeah, and it gets worse and worse and worse.
And it seems like it's happening, like it gets progressively worse as each day goes on. It is exponential, it seems.
So, all right, let's look at from the murder perspective right quick. Okay, if you want to read kind of this right here, this is the day of the murder.
When Mr. Harrouff returned to Duffy's, his father grabbed him by the shirt. He pulled back his fist, but decided not to hit his father when Carrie asked him not to. He left the restaurant a second time. He wanted to teach his father, a lesson by walking home alone and showing him that he was able to get to his father's house without his assistance. He was feeling invincible.
Yeah. So you remember seeing the video? He had the backwards hat. This is the day of. He says he had a vague recollection of throwing his phone down at his mom's house. He may have put his Trump hat, at this time it was a red hat. He put it on backwards. He, quote, put it on backwards so it would propel him forward, end quote. The 2 weeks leading up to this, he would drink Wesson oil. I had to look that up. That's the shit we got in the
cooking oil.
Cooking oil. So it says he would drink it. The family took it away from him. He just kept drinking this fucking Wesson oil.
Maybe, is that why he was having health challenges?
He says he did not recall drinking Wesson oil at his mother's house. But the mother said they would take it away from him. The whole bottle, he would chug it. This fucking Wesson oil.
It's like, it's
cooking oil. Yeah. Isn't that
terrible
crazy?
for you.
So he says he left the restaurant a second time.
And he was going to walk home.
So
this is how he came across.
Yeah, exactly.
This house.
He's walking home. He's quote, following the stars, end quote, and running. So he came upon this garage at full fucking sprint. At 9 o'clock, when his auditory hallucinations usually kick in before he goes to bed, it's 9:15. He is running at full fucking sprint. He's been chugging Wesson oil all day. You know, he sees in the garage a demon. Literally, probably what he's saying, a fucking demon laughing at him, pointing at him. I'm going to fucking kill you. I mean, I'm not making fun of it. That's probably what he's fucking seeing.
Yeah.
So he runs up in there and he says, this is exactly what happened. He says,
about 3/4 of the way to his father's home, Mr. Harrouff saw a dark figure with a white face. He thought of the figure as evil. The figure said, "Hey, Austin." He recognized the voice as Daniel, a friend of his cousin from childhood. When he had known Daniel, he had thought about him as a bad guy. He believed that Daniel was trying to kill him. He sprinted away, screaming with terror. He made a left turn and saw a white light from a garage.
Screaming in terror.
He ran towards the lighted garage and asked for help in getting home. He did not have a memory of what he planned to say, but he perceived the lighted garage as an area of safety in his terror. He next recalled seeing a woman in the garage and her screaming at him. He thought that she was a witch because of the way she was screaming. He screamed when she screamed because he was scared. He did not recall having any conversation with her. He thinks she had brown hair. He was fearful in a panic state from seeing the dark figure and hearing her screams. He was afraid he would be harmed. He had a vague recollection of picking up a machete or something and stabbing the woman and biting her. He believed that he was a dog at the time of biting her. He was unsure of the sequence of events in the garage. His best recollection was that he drank a bottle of alcohol or something while in the garage after stabbing the woman.
He picked up a bottle of antifreeze and started chugging it.
Oh, so that's what his health problems came from.
He picked it just randomly. And this is important with the next case too. In both cases, the perpetrator was extremely thirsty, which immediately the medical providers took as their own drugs. Because if you do those drugs, ecstasy is a big one. You do ecstasy, you drink a lot of water. So he is biting the face off. He grabs the first bottle he fucking sees. He doesn't even know what it is.
So he chugs antifreeze. Okay.
Jesus Christ.
He next recalled seeing a guy in the doorway and a dog. I think I stabbed him too. He had some recollection of a man with a mustache wearing a white shirt, but he was uncertain whether this was the woman's husband or the neighbor who came over to help. He recalled a guy yelling at him.
All right, that's probably good. If you go through this, you can see that even his family knew something was off 2 weeks before. So, and it looks as the psychiatrist did a really good job on this. I mean,
thorough report,
very thorough report, which is extremely helpful. If you go through this, you can see the 2 weeks before he gets more and more not deranged, but more disassociative with society and reality.
Yeah,
he is completely disconnected from reality. He is thinking he's a half horse, half man. He is jumping out in front of the traffic. I mean, he is just, he knows he's going crazy. Friday, August 12th, a few days before the murder, quote, "I don't think I am going crazy. I'm just evolving." If you journal, "I don't think I'm going crazy," you're obviously having doubts. I'm not trying to be funny, but that is some serious shit, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he probably should have sought out some mental health counseling at some point.
I mean, they would have...
Just to kind of help him feel less alone in it.
And you can tell he's got a sense of grandiosity, too, right before this happens. But I don't know. That's that story. He's actually still... He's still awaiting. No one knows what they're going to do with him, to be honest.
So did both of the victims, they were both killed? Or,
yeah. Oh, yeah. They were both killed.
But the neighbor survived.
Yeah, the neighbor called 911. And I'll put all these documents on talkmore.com. To be honest, man, you can't hold this guy accountable. He didn't plan it. I don't think he did it. And if there is a drug, which we're going to talk about in the next episode, because there may be, they can't test everything. These synthetic compounds are changing so rapidly that they can't see if it's a drug or not that he's doing. And with the next story, it may have been a drug and he may have ingested it without even knowing it. Like, hey, can I smoke some of that joint? Or there was even a scare that these people in Florida wouldn't accept business cards anymore because they think there's some stuff on the business card. And when you take the business card from someone, it absolves into your skin.
Kind of like secondhand anthrax. Or
yeah, and it may be an actual biotechnical fucking chemical. Like there's something in South America that's called devil's breath, and it's supposed to be the world's dangerous drug. And what it does is usually you breathe it in. So somebody will kind of shoot some at you and you breathe it in without knowing. It makes you completely lose your sense of free will. What? That's all it does. It makes you say yes to anything.
What?
This is like in Colombia and all these places. They'll administer this drug and then tell people to go empty out their bank accounts. They'll tell people to go kill people.
What is the substance?
Oh, it's called devil's breath.
I am definitely interested in what this is.
But that is, I mean, I'll show you. I mean,
I've never heard of that.
It's called, it's a plant, and all these are scopolamine, devil's breath right here. It's crazy. Colombia criminals are using it to put people in a zombie-like state. They go out to a party and then wake up 2 or 3 days later on a park bench. They arrive here without their belongings or their money. This is coming from the people treating these patients. So they'll administer this somehow to them, and it makes them, I mean, usually it's for financial gain, but that shit's scary, dude. Imagine somebody like Kim Jong-un or somebody putting that shit in her fucking water,
Interesting. Nazi angel of death Joseph Mengele used scopolamine in interrogations as a kind of truth serum.
Crazy fucking shit.
Wow.
Since the 1970s, Colombian criminals have been using it in order to rape women, empty out houses and apartments, and even abduct children. They would just be like, hey, give me your kids. Okay. Take them. Jeez. It's fucked up. That is fucked, yo.
Yeah.
So, I mean...
That's scary.
Since the 70s, man. So, and where's, that's the thing with these cases, man. Where are they going to do trial runs at this shit? Obviously, Florida, that's where it comes into America. Right there. Through fucking Florida and the devil's asshole. Florida. That's where it comes through. So, obviously, that's the place.
That's a new one. I don't think I've heard that one.
But I don't know. What do you guys think of that fucking story? Sorry,
it's crazy. So he's not been charged, or he's been charged with manslaughter, but they're not sure what they're gonna do. It's a hard one. I mean, like, what are we able to do to make sure this person is not a danger to himself or others?
Well, he needs to be institutionalized.
But institutionalized. Exactly. But then what happens then? It's only until they get where they're no longer a danger to society. We did the Vince Lee story, same thing. He's no longer a danger. What else are you going to do? Kill him? Put him in lockup? If he didn't know he was doing it, and I can goddamn guarantee you, ain't nobody premeditates biting and eating someone's face and spitting out the flesh in a garage.
It doesn't have anything to do with that. It's just like, even, hopefully I don't know. Like, he may not have premeditated it, but two people still died. Yeah. And he's...
Look at this knife, Nicole. Jesus Christ, dude. That's him right there. I mean, he is just... Look, he's missing his fucking teeth. Ugh. I mean, look at... This is a crime scene. I'll put all these photos on talkmore.com. This is the taser. This is a big-ass fucking taser right here. Jen, if you get hit with this, you fucking going down. And this is him, like, in prison. I mean, the craziest fucking shit I have ever fucking seen. And ain't nobody has heard of this fucking shit. I don't know.
That's wild.
But, yeah, as of now, let me see. Unless anything has changed, they're still waiting to kind of see what they're going to do. This is from Jacksonville.com. The headline says, 3 years later, Austin Harrouff case still puzzles many. And he is facing first-degree murder charges. But honestly, they're not going to get it, man. Because, I mean, he didn't have any control over his body.
Right.
I mean, At first, I thought this was a drug case. And the next one, too, that we're going to cover, thought it was a drug case. But then you start looking into it. Drug cases don't take fucking 2 weeks of a downward spiral until full-blown mania.
No,
that's not drugs.
This is clearly not. Mm-hmm. This is clearly not.
Unless it's a drug that it takes that long to act, Yeah. That's what I was thinking. Maybe it's a new sort of drug that kind of just builds up and builds up.
I think we would have heard other similar things happening, though, if that was the case.
But, that's another thing you got to ask, like, why is this shit happening only in Florida? It's probably because there's somebody's fucking testing this shit, the new drugs or whatever.
Could be.
I mean, we saw that one show, remember Narc Inc. or whatever, where these drug dealers, this one's like, man, I sold some shit the other day that completely, it was like fentanyl, completely killed two of my users, killed them dead. The next morning, I had fiends stacking up in my doorstep to buy all I could. There's shit that just killed 2 people. They want it stronger and stronger and stronger. That's a problem, man. I don't know, man. That's crazy. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that case. We're going to keep the zombie theme going here. Got a short story for Friday. Very short. It's about the bath salt zombies. I just want to kind of get it out there. I'm going to put the video on there. We'll watch the video. And the guy actually survived. And he ain't living no life I don't want to live. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that. Go to talkmore.com. We do live chat too. We're talking to you guys. So talkmore.com/join. And until next time, my name is John, and I'm here with Jen and Nicole. Good night, you lovely, lovely people.